don't know if you guys can see this, but this water, guys, this water is literally filled to the top with ice. Like, this is ridiculous. Oh, I love water. Also, can we just take a minute, like a little Valentine's Day moment? Like, are you kidding me? Tell me that is not stunning. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing kind of like a heavier video. I didn't think I was going to be making this video for honestly months. I have a list on my phone of like video ideas and like things that I want to do, and some of them I like want to do right away, and some I don't plan on doing for quite a while. This video was one of those videos, but obviously, you know, things happen and things change, and I feel like us doing this video will be not only closure for me, but it'll also be kind of like a nice way to reflect and remember my grandma in a positive way. So if you haven't already read the title, or the title didn't really give away the majority of this video, 9 months ago I posted a video of me reflecting on my life as a whole, and it just happened to be my grandmother's 80th birthday on the video that I posted 9 months ago. It was her 80th birthday. Fast forward 9 months later, I kind of touched on this on my first video back on why I left YouTube, but obviously, you know, if you have been around in the last 2.5 years, you've more than likely known someone that's gotten sick or known someone that has passed away. My grandma was doing so well for the longest part. Obviously, you know, when you're 80 years old, you know, she was a very lively, social person. She always loved being around other people, and I'm gonna get into literally all of that in this video. I don't even know where to start. Like, I feel like I got ready to film this video and I just... In January of this year, my grandma passed away to the COVID virus. I think it kind of took everybody by surprise. We, you know, could feel that the world was going to be getting back to normal. We could feel that COVID was coming to an end, and we were all trying to, you know, be patient and wait it out and wait it out and wait it out. And I feel like my memory of her is so vivid and bright, like before the virus. Like, I remember her so vividly, but you know, obviously with COVID, everything's been such a blur, and, you know, a week or two into January is when she actually passed away. My mom did mention that she passed away with a lot of dignity, and she was literally going down the Rolodex of people. She was saying my brother and saying like me and, you know, all my family members, and listing everyone individually and saying her goodbyes. And she was such a strong woman, and she always, you know, had so much dignity. Like, you never saw her, you know, not living life with grace and not being fully, you know, happy and real and, you know, strong. Like, she was just one of the strongest women I've ever met in my whole life. I think that's why this video is like hard for me to make, because I think a part of me doesn't want it to be real and doesn't want it to be happening. But I also want to make this video to bring closure to it in my life. And, you know, in this video, I'm going to be showing a lot of my grandmother's china that my mom said to me. She's like, your grandma would want you to have this. And the very first tea, I'm going to start crying, but the very first tea party that I ever had in my life was with my grandma. My mom gifted me her tea set, so that I had my first tea party with. So whew, I'm gonna try to keep it as calm and collected as I can, but I most likely will cry throughout this video. But yeah, where do I start? So I guess just with memories. When I was a kid, my grandma lived in a really small town, and we would always, it was kind of by the border, it was like a border town, and me and my family and my cousins, we would always, you know, drive out there, and it was just so whimsical and nostalgic. And, you know, she had the most beautiful yard and flowers. That was one thing that I remember saying when she passed. I was like, Mom, like, I think the one thing that grandma will give me is, you know, seeing the beauty in flowers. And when I was a kid, I remember my grandma had so many flowers in her yard. She always had fresh flowers in her house. And I remember on her, I think it was like an iPhone 4S, like when she got one, she was like the cool grandma, and she had an iPhone 4S, and it was like the first iPhone to have autofocus. And I remember going to take her camera and, you know, focusing in on flowers and taking pictures and posting them to my Instagram with like a filter way back in the day. Like, I was literally probably in, you know, middle school or high school. It's so amazing to look back, because she was always a soldier for me, and she always stuck up for me, and she was always there, you know, for me as a grandma should be. She was always like so full of love and light, and she was never judgmental. She was always honest and real. And I think that, you know, obviously when you see your mother and then you see your grandmother, you're skipping a generation. And I think I genuinely got to see the world from her eyes. She taught me so much. And, you know, I just remember going, and she'd always give us change to go to the store. Why is this video so hard for me to get through? Literally, her kitchen would always be lined up with candy and fresh baked goods, and literally you name it, it was there. And, you know, she lived in the country, so that she knew literally everybody in that town. She knew every single person by name in the town, and there was a town next to hers, and she knew every single person in that town too, by name. Like, she would go anywhere, everyone's like, oh, Caroline. That was my grandma's name, was Caroline. And I remember at every single social gathering, the song Sweet Caroline would come on. I'll insert like a 2-second thing. Sweet Caroline. And that song would come on, and everyone was just like, yeah, that's Caroline. And yeah, she lived in the country, so her neighbors would always bring her like freshly picked vegetables and fruit. She had raspberry bushes, and when we were kids, when we were younger, me and my cousin would like, we would why didn't I bring tissues? Sorry. And me and my cousins, like me and my cousin Stephanie, would always run to the back of her house just to be the first one there to get the freshly pick some raspberries. And thank you. I don't know why I didn't think of bringing tissues before this video, but yeah, we would always rush to see who could be the first one to get those freshly picked raspberries. And they would always have like jars of beets and cucumbers, and just like fresh fruit was always brought to her house. And she had like the biggest garage, and it was huge, it was massive. And I remember all my cousins we would always play hide and go seek, and the garage was like the best place because there was like 4 walls, and you could kind of like, once it gets dark outside, you could kind of run and see who'd be the first one to it was just the best feeling. And she had the biggest yard ever, and we all, like my family, my cousins, everybody had pop-up trailers, and we would always like go to my grandma's house and park them in her yard, and then everybody would be there together. We would stay the night, we would stay the weekend, we would all like camp out outside and have fires and, you know, memories and ghost stories. And it was just the best memory I could ever have. And she gifted me such amazing memories. And when I think back, there was a park near her house. We would always go play at the park, and there was like literally old school park structure. Like, we're talking like country 80s 90s vibes, maybe even 70s. Honestly, do not quote me. The park was just like so sick, and there's so many memories. And I just remember her laugh, and she was always, you know, such a bright light, like literally a bright light. When I think of like myself and like how I want to present myself to the world, I think I've learned so many things from her. Whether it's, you know, her always wanting everybody to be included, always wanting as many people there as possible, inviting everyone, or her positive energy, always wanting to have everybody included. Like, when I think of myself nowadays, I always want everyone to be included, and I always want like as many people there as possible. And literally I think I've gotten that from her. And with COVID, it's been so hard to, I don't even know, like I think once COVID hit, it shut everything down, and it kind of stopped those memories, because obviously before COVID everything was so strong and so vibrant and bright, and COVID kind of like took everything away, and the memories kind of stopped. And no one wanted to be the person to get grandma sick, so obviously we all had to do our part. We couldn't see her, and we, you know, couldn't go visit her. I'm happy that a lot of my memories are from the good times, are from, you know, when things were so amazing and family was so close, because it was just the best time, you know. And it's woo. And I remember we used to go visit my grandma in the town, and she loved going to, it was called MCC, which is like a thrift store. I loved thrifting with my grandma and my mom, and seeing like literally anything, like you name it, like old school anything, like just small town old school thrift store vibes. I loved it so much. Like, I cherish so many of those moments. And my grandma growing up actually used to collect salt and pepper shakers. So she used to collect salt and pepper shakers, and above her there was like a stairs to downstairs. She had literally like probably like 10 shelves lined up of salt and pepper shakers, stacked, every single kind. And I love that. Like, that was her collection, was her salt and pepper collection. And these ones aren't like her most fancy salt and pepper shakers, but I think it's really nice of my mom to give me like her crystal ones, because these are seriously so beautiful. And I'm so happy that like I can have a piece of her with me. And it's so full circle, because growing up, you're like, wow, grandma has like all of these salt and pepper shakers, and like there's so many different kinds, like, you know, just every single kind. It was the coolest thing. And her collection, and it was fun to go to the thrift store and like find someone and be like, oh, do you have these ones? And sometimes she would have them and sometimes she wouldn't. So it was really full circle to get to have them. So, and I'm really thankful that my mom gave them to me. And yeah, it's surreal, honestly. So I had mentioned that my grandma was the first person to have a tea party with me, and she genuinely was. My mom gave me her China teapot. So this is my grandmother's China teapot. Literally so beautiful. And like, I still can't believe that my mother gave it to me. She literally said to me, like when she was giving it to me, she was like, your grandma would have wanted you to have this. And there's pictures of on film of me and my grandma having one of my first tea parties together. And in the set of China, there is a milk ladle. So this is like for milk. And there's also like a sugar jar. So if you look, there is a jar for sugar. Beautiful China. This is all English China. Absolutely stunning. And then there's 4 of these cups in the set. So these are the cups. Beautiful gold detailing on every aspect. It's absolutely stunning. It's Regent China English Rose. My favorite tea is red rose tea. The fact that this tea set is called English Rose, like, I don't know why I find that so funny, adorable. She also gave me this tea set. So if you can see, there's like a plate, which I'll try my best to show. So here's the plate. Absolutely gorgeous. And then here is the cup, which is so beautiful. All of the golds, I can't. And with the plate, beautiful. My mom also gave me these crystal, it's like a frosted crystal. It feels so cool. I can't explain it. Candle holders. So these are super pretty. Genuinely, I'm so grateful and thankful that my mom, when I moved out, my mom gave me a lot of, like, she gave me our dining set that we literally grew up with as kids, like the classic dining set that we had. Beautiful cherry wood. And she gave it to me. You know, cavetta, she gave to me, a dresser in English, if you guys don't know what that means. Bar, there's so many things that my parents handed down to me that literally makes me so emotional, because I just feel so lucky that I get to like hold a piece of my family's history in my house, and it's just like, it makes me so emotional. My mom also gave me this, it's like a vintage gold with a glass top candle. You put a candle wick in the middle, and then this goes over top. I remember this being on my grandma's coffee table, and when I saw that she had decided to give this to me, I was so emotional. We have a lantern that we use in our house, and it's seriously, it's so beautiful. It's like a wick candle. If you look back into my previous video, you guys will see it. When my mom showed me this with like the gold feet and the glass top, it's just so beautiful. And the fact that this I can now have in my house and think of my grandma and my mom, and this is like something that is passed down to me, it makes me so emotional. Like, you guys have no idea. When I said that, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to film this video. Like, I didn't think I was gonna make this video for months. I planned on doing a lot more healing before I made this video. You know, when my mom told us, she got all of us together on FaceTime. My brother, my mom, and my dad, everybody on FaceTime. And she was like, I have something to tell you. And we've been grieving the last month as a family. And it's been really, really hard and challenging to navigate the healing process. You know, when I went to my parents the last time, and my mom was like, your grandma would have wanted you to have this. And I opened it. It was like it was like really emotional for me because, you know, you never think that you're gonna not be worthy, but you never think that your parents are gonna like bless you with things that you grew up with. And, you know, this to me was the reason I was like, I have to make this video, you know? Like I was like, when my mom decided to give me all of her china, I was like, you know, I have to make this video. I have to do it before I put all this away and, you know, put it in the china cabinet. And I'm not going to be using any of this. It's literally vintage china. Like it's such a blessing and a privilege that, you know, my mom would think of me like that. And it warms my heart to no end. And I think this video, I obviously have done a month of healing and processing and grieving and sharing stories and the happy moments. I'm happy that a lot of the memories I have with my grandma are really happy and positive. She's taught me so much in my life, and I'm so blessed and grateful and thankful that I'm able to say that. But I think this video to me is just really gonna wrap it up and make it really full circle, because not only can I share memories I have of her and, you know, embrace in the love and happiness and all the gifts that she gave me growing up and all the knowledge and wisdom and grit and grace and dignity that she taught me to have, and, you know, all of that stuff that she gave me, but I can also share my china on my channel with you guys and have it be a time capsule of this moment and, you know, reflection and closure. And I'm just so grateful, and you know, it's so nice to be authentic. So there's two more things that I want to share. One is this little drink glass. It's like my focus is like freaking out. So this drink glass, there's also another one, so it looks like this, and my mom gave me, I don't even know, there's like 12 maybe. So, and they're just like little drink glasses. I think they're so cute for like, I'm Portuguese, so like on nights that we want to have like a little port, and you want to sip it, or, you know, even whiskey if you want to put it in there if the whiskey's cold. Just so nice. And there's a plate over there. There's also a couple more dishes that I'm not going to show, just because I think that this was enough to show. But it's hard to imagine that I'm not going to be able to just go and see her again. Before she passed, I was like, oh yeah, like I can just go down and see grandma, and, you know, we can just go visit her and say hi to her. And it's hard for my brain to process the fact that I can't just go see her anymore. I can't visit her anymore. But at the same time, it, like, as you know, even being emotional, there's so many amazing memories that it's just like, I'm so happy and lucky that I get to remember her in such a beautiful way. And this video really is that. And I'm so fucking happy to be able to to do this. And yeah, even at work, like, you know, it's like, I feel like a lot of people are like over COVID. Like we all have like kind of collectively been like, we're done, you know, drop the mandates, like, let's get back to real life. When the variant hit, I was in that place too. I was like, yeah, like whatever, like COVID's a thing. We're all learning to live with it. But until it hits close to home, and until you literally lose people and people leave your life and it hits that close to home, it's like, holy, you know, it's still real and it's still out there. And I was speaking to people at work, and, you know, a lot of people are like expecting answers yesterday, and, you know, they don't really have a matter of time. And I totally understand that. But, you know, when you connect with people that have it close to home, and you're able to share your experiences and your grieving and your pain with them, everybody shares a different level of grace with you. And it's beautiful. It genuinely is so beautiful to be able to share that with people. Whenever people are like ignorant to me or not showing grace or just whatever, like, I use that opportunity to share grace with them. So as I was looking down at my hands, I also not forgot, but I, you know, it's almost like she kind of like was like, Marley, look at your hands. Like, you know, like, you can't forget to talk about this in this video. And yeah, so all the rings that I wear on a daily basis are from my grandmother. My mom gave me this. If I can zoom in on it, I'll try. I doubt it. My mom had gifted me this heart pendant, and I bought this chain from Michael Hill, but this pendant is from my mom, and all these rings are gifted from my mom, but they're my grandmother's. And this red one right here is a ruby red ring on my pointer finger. It has my great grandmother's, my grandmother's, and my mother's birthstone in it. So I wear this ring as a midi ring because all of the ladies in my family tree have extremely tiny hands and tiny fingers. I do too, for the most part. You can tell, like, you know, the rings fit on that hand. So that's kind of like the first hand. And then this hand just has a gold ring with diamonds literally throughout, and it's so beautiful. But yeah, so all of these rings are my grandmother's as well. and passed down through generations. So it's so cool because you grow up and you see other people that have things passed down through generations, and you kind of never really think anything of it, or you think like, oh, that's so cool, I wish I had that. For me, it's like I'm almost ignorant in a sense, because it's like, Marley, you do have that. Like everything around you that's been gifted to you from your family has been brought down through generations, and it's so beautiful and such a privilege to be able to say that, because a lot of people don't have that, and a lot of people wish they had that, and it's really cool and it's really humbling. And you know, whenever I think of my grandma in my brain, I think of her laughing and smiling, and I just think of that look, and there's so many memories I could share, like so many things, and I'm sure after this video I'll be like, oh, why didn't I think of that? I just wanted to make this video to kind of sum up in loving memory of Caroline Davis and Caroline Nelson. She had 2 husbands. I just wanted to kind of, you know, sum up her as a whole in this video and share my love and light and thank her. Thank you subconsciously or consciously, my mom, through you gifting me all of this china and this light and candle holder. It just warms my heart, and it's something I'll live with and have until the day I die. And I'll always, you know, try to keep grace and dignity and the love, and always want everyone to be included in all of the amazing things that she's given me, and try my best to live my life authentically and make her proud and make my mother proud and my family proud and myself proud. So I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being a part of this moment of reflection and this moment of love and light. And I don't know why I feel like freedom. Like it was just like, it's such a empowering experience to share this. And I just feel so lucky and grateful. And Mom, if you're watching this, thank you so much for my life and my china and giving me such a beautiful life, and with Grandma. And I love you. I love you guys so much. And I'll see you guys in the next video.